Hello, in this video we're going to show you how to assemble this dresser, but before we get started, here's a few things to keep in mind. Make sure you have a Phillips head screwdriver and a hammer. A second person can be helpful. Set aside enough time for assembly, and just make sure everything is facing the right way as you're putting it together, and you'll do great. We're going to go quickly through the easier parts and focus on the tricky steps, so just make sure you pause the video and complete all the steps as we go. With that said, let's get into it. In step 1, we're going to put dowels into pieces 6 and 17. Next, in step 2, we'll put dowels into the rest of these pieces here. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 3, we'll be putting cam bolts into pieces 13, 16, 3, 1, and 2. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 4, we'll be attaching pieces 6 to pieces 2 and 3, and pieces 17 to both sides of piece 22. Okay, we're good to move on. Next, we'll move on to steps 5 through 8. We're going to start with piece 2 and piece 23. Close. We're going to start with piece 23 and piece 2. We're going to stand up piece 2 and line up the dowels on piece 23 into this side here. Then we're going to take piece 22 and stand it up here in the middle, like this. Then we'll take piece 5 and insert it on this side, lining up the cam bolt and the dowel. And then this notch here will line up with this dowel here on piece 22. And then we can put a cam lock into this hole back here. And we'll lock that in place. Then we can stand up piece 3 on this side, lining up these two holes right here with the dowels on piece 23. And also this cam bolt up here. And then we'll put in a cam lock on this piece here as well. And then we're good to move on. In step 9, we're going to put piece 1 onto the back of this piece here. Just want to make sure that we have this notch lining up with the notches along the bottom as well. So we'll go like this. And then we can put in the cam locks on the inside. Okay, then we can move on to step 10 and put piece 4 onto the other side. So with piece 4, we just want to make sure that this angled piece is kind of facing upwards, and this notch will also open up inwards towards the piece, like this. So the slant is on this side. So we'll line that up with the dowels, and then we'll put in our screws through the bottom. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 11, we're going to attach piece 8 to the bottom here. So we're going to line up the dowels. We're just going to line up the dowels with these holes here. And then we're going to put 4 screws in through the inside. Next, we can move on to steps 12 through 14, and we're going to assemble the feet. So with the feet, we just want to have 2 pieces and just face them opposite each other like this. And then 2 of these pieces will go into the sides of them. Like this, and then we'll do the same thing again. So we have 2 pairs. And then we'll secure those together with some screws. Okay, once those are all secured with screws, we'll put dowels into these pieces here. And then once all of those dowels are in, we're just going to put one leg into each of the corners at an angle. And we just want these holes to be facing the back of the dresser, which is the bottom here, so that the smooth side is facing forwards, like this. And then we'll put one of these bolts into the inside, into the foot. And you can use the included hex key. I'm just going to use the hex bit on my screwdriver. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, once those are all tight, we're good to move on. In step 16, we're going to put 2 screws into each leg through the inside. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 17, we're going to attach the back panels. And when we do this, just make sure that this sticker is in this upper corner here. Then we'll attach it with nails. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 18, we're going to put dowels into the front holes on the rails. Okay, we're good to move on. In steps 19 through 22, we'll assemble the drawers. I've already done these ones, and I'll just show you how to do the last one. Also make sure when you're assembling the drawers that you have the pieces that are narrower together for the top drawers, and the rest are the same. So we'll start with our front of the drawer, and we'll take one of our side pieces, and with the cam lock holes facing outwards, we want to make sure that this groove lines up along the back. So this one will go on this side, and cam lock holes facing out, groove lining up on this side. And then we'll put in our cam locks. Next, we'll put in the bottom panel. Just make sure that sits in all the way. And then we'll put on the back piece, just making sure that this groove lines up with the bottom panel. And then we'll put 2 screws in through each side. Okay, once the drawer is done, we can go ahead and put it into the slot. So we'll line it up with the rails. And then we'll push it in halfway. And then 2 dowels will go into the holes on the inside, and these will keep it from falling out. And then we're all done. We hope this video was helpful for you when assembling your new dresser. For more guides, tips, and tricks, go to walkeredison.com.